Yo, what's going on? This is Mike and I am the Sports Dope. I can be found on Twitter at that Sports Dope. Instagram is the same name. Really just pictures of the tweets, but just, trying to get an extra audience. So, whatever. Fuck. Every once in a while, maybe I'll throw a video on there or something. Or a clip if I feel so inclined. But yeah. So this is the long form. You either found it on YouTube or iTunes. If you found it on iTunes and you feel like looking at my stupid face while I'm doing this shit, you can go to mindsofmike.com/thesportsdope, and there you will find a link to the YouTube channel. And vice versa, if you happen to come across this on YouTube and you wanted to find the iTunes link, mindsofmike.com/thesportsdope. I think, so I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today, and so keep that website in mind also, because I'm not going to be able to do this too frequently, because it happens every night, all the time. So I'm probably going to wind up posting some NBA picks on the website or the Twitter if I just don't have a time to write up a paragraph or so. Sometimes I like to kind of explain myself, see, so you can see where I'm coming from. Go with the mental gymnastics that I go through to talk myself into throwing, a couple shekels down on, the Memphis Grizzlies for whatever reason on a random Tuesday. But yeah, tonight, opening night, we got the Raptors on in the background. They're playing the Pelicans. Not the game that, the NBA thought it was going to get, but it's still proving pretty tough for the old Raptors there. Game's pretty close there in the fourth quarter. I'm really looking forward to watching the first half or so of the Lakers game, maybe just the first quarter. I got to get up at fucking 5 in the morning, and it is the East Coast. It's already 10:15. Jesus, I sound old as shit. But I am. So there you go. Man, speaking of being old as shit, I wish that there was a way that I could, watching basketball makes me wish that there was a way that I could still play it in, even, a moderately competitive level. And not even competitive in, a wider, margin of people, competitive, like a beer league, softball league, but with basketball. But, it's kind of, it's hard to get people to do that when they're in their late 30s. I mean, you got to hang out with a bunch of, in shape people in order to get a bunch of people to, run up and down a court. And I don't do that. I hang out with fucking beer drinkers. And, we play softball and golf. But, man, I miss playing basketball. Good times. I did play, with the kids, a couple summers ago, 2 summers back. And I just, every time I went to go move, I just felt like my knee was going to give out, or my ankle, or I was going to find my Achilles on the floor at the end of the day. But, man, basketball, good times. But now we will just watch it, and we will bet on it. Because that's what we do. Degenerates, right? Got to have a little bit of action. So what I'm going to do, Tuesday night, like I said, this podcast is pretty much only going to be applicable for fucking 18 hours. So we're going to talk real quick about the games going on Wednesday, October 23rd, second night in the NBA. First, kind of like football, we're just going to touch on a couple of the games that I don't really have interest in, but I'm interested in just learning maybe a couple things, seeing what goes on there. So first game, not interested in, but interested in. You know what I mean? Not interested, but a little interested, just for a little bit of knowledge. I got the Pistons at the Pacers, Detroit at Indiana. Indiana without Oladipo, Detroit without Blake Griffin. So this is going to be an interesting game. I don't have too much confidence in Detroit when they are, Blake Griffinless. And Indiana is still pretty good without Oladipo, but definitely not the elite team that they typically are. The spread here, the line on this one, 7.5. Open at 5, got bet up to 7.5. I'm just staying away from this game. Don't like it. If I had to pick, though, I might go Detroit. Just opening night, a lot of points. But honestly, like I said, staying away. Nothing to do with it. Don't want anything to do with it. All the money and the tickets, all on Indiana. So just nothing to do with that game. Next up, this is going to be a good game, and I'm looking forward to watching it. But like I said, I want to see how Boston plays with Kemba Walker. They're going to Philly. Philly's got Al Horford. There's going to be a bunch of whole like revenge angles going on here. Not really revenge. Al Horford, he's a fucking sweet guy, right? He's just like he's got like the babiest of baby faces. I don't know, and I don't think he's got any revenge in him. But Boston might be mad that he left because he kind of dicked him around a little bit. So he won't have any ill will. Maybe they'll have like fake beef. Like, oh, you son of a bitch. But how can you hate Al Horford, really? But yeah, Boston to Philly. Line open at 6, moved down to 5. Philly's the favorites. Not a big believer in Philly. I know they got a ton of talent, but I don't know. I just like their regular season hard, but I definitely have no confidence in them to go deep in the postseason. Next game, got no interest in. Memphis Grizzlies, they're going to Miami. See the Heat, new Heat with Jimmy Butler. Should be very interesting to watch. I want to see how they all play together. Line opened at and stayed at 7.5, even though Miami's getting a ton of the money and tickets on this. But I'm staying away. The line hasn't moved. That kind of freaks me out a little bit, right? When there's, shit ton of money, 73% of the money, 65% of the tickets all on one side, and it doesn't move. It means the books are pretty confident in that 7.5. I don't know. I'm staying away. Maybe they're worried Jimmy Butler might take a little while to mesh with his new team. I don't know. So I'm staying away from that. Don't want anything to do with it. Next up, we got Washington. They're going to Dallas. Another game. Really interested in seeing how Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, the unicorn, left New York. We're going to miss you. We thought we were going to get something. And the Knicks didn't get shit. Didn't get shit, but a whole bunch more heartache. So we just lost the unicorn. Lost Porzingis. I get it. The relationship was tense. If I was Porzingis, I would have left also. So I don't blame him. But still, as a fan, as somebody who likes the Knicks, I don't know if Julius Randle can fill those shoes. I like him. Got confidence. But, I don't know. The team's just a fucking dumpster fire. Anyway, moving on. Interested to see how much of a dumpster fire the Knicks look. Because the Knicks are going to San Antonio. They're playing the Spurs. Not a big believer in the Spurs this year. This line opened at 9.5, went up to 10. All the money's on the Spurs. I'm staying away from it. I don't know. I'm not feeling the Spurs this year. I think Aldridge's got a lot of miles on him, and the West is pretty stacked, right? They got a whole bunch of shit going on there, and as long as everybody else in the West stays healthy, the Spurs are on the bubble, right, of even making the playoffs. Like, if you look at all the rosters in that league. But I went through that in the preseason podcast a couple of days ago. Anyway, 10's still a lot of points. Spurs, not a big believer in them, so I'm just going to leave that one alone. Oklahoma City, they're going to Utah, face the Jazz. Oklahoma City with Chris Paul and not too much else. But they are going out to the Jazz. This is another big number, 9.5. Moved out to 9. So people are kind of liking, the Oklahoma City a little bit. They got, hey, if Chris Paul stays healthy, plays well, Gallinari's a quality player, Steven Adams, always a monster down there, big bruiser. You love having that on your squad. They could be a little scrappy out there. Maybe a 500 team. Still not really expecting a lot from them. Utah, they're not a big scoring team, so whenever I see a big number associated with them, I kind of get a little shied away. Opened at 9.5, and people took the Thunder money. People took the Thunder. So went down to 9, still staying away. Not a fan. Next up, we've got Sacramento, the Kings. They're going to Phoenix. I'm staying away from this game. This line is opened up Sacramento minus 2.5. Now it went down to 1.5. People believing a little bit in the Suns. Hey, they got all those first-round draft picks. Maybe one of these years that they'll play together. They got Dario Saric. That guy, he's a quality basketball player. Maybe he could bring some cohesion to it. He learned a little bit about winning for the brief time he was in Philly and everything. But still, Devin Booker, you're going to put up 40 points and who knows what else is going to happen. That's really Phoenix in a nutshell. Devin Booker's going to put up 40, and maybe the other guys will score. Who knows? And I'm not taking either side of that. Because I don't know. I like the Kings, but I don't know if last year was a fluke. I don't know if they're really Hey, if last year wasn't a fluke, these are all young kids except for Harrison Barnes, and Harrison Barnes is providing some leadership. If last year wasn't a fluke, they could take another step forward. Yeah, that could be a dangerous team. That could be a team that knocks the Spurs out of the playoffs. That's somebody I'm keeping an eye on. I'm going to be interested in this game, but not something I'm really interested in terms of cash. Putting some cash on it. Next up, so here we are. Those are the games not super interested in. Let's dive into a couple of the games that I really like tomorrow. Starting off, we got the Bulls. They're going to Charlotte Hornets. Hornets are a dumpster fire. Kemba Walker's gone. They have absolutely nothing there. Chicago, no real standout players, but they've got a ton of talent. And speaking of taking steps forward, this is a team that can absolutely take a step forward this year. Their whole second unit is also teams with guys with upside. Right? So even when they're off the court, they've got a ton of guys with, even when the stars are off the court, they got a ton of guys with upside. And Charlotte has nobody. Nobody. So this game opened up at 1.5, went to 3. Everybody's betting on the Bulls. I'm going to jump on that train. I feel like it's free money almost. Listen, Kobe White, UNC product, going back home. I think he's going to have a big night. Big night coming off the bench. So, let's see. So, we're putting some cash on the Bulls there. We got the Bulls action. Let's see. We talked about that. Okay. There's a team that I'm pretty high on going into the season. They played well last year. Played, similar to the Kings, right? So I said the Kings are a young team. Took a step forward last year. Showed that they could hang a bit. And if they could take another step forward, they could actually do some stuff. Well, the Magic are kind of like that. Right? They got a young core. They did well last year. Won the division. Nobody thought. I think they were 50-1 to win the division. Won the division 50-1. And they're taking on Cleveland. Cleveland's traveling down there. Yeah, it's over tonight. You don't got to worry about travel. But still, yeah, they got a bunch of fucking old big guys. Kevin loves knees. They don't do well on flights, right? Fucking old giant guys. Nah, I'm just kidding. Obviously, these guys are sitting in comfort in the lap of luxury, but still, I like to fuck around. Still, I like Orlando. It's an 8-point spread. I don't care. I think they show up. They got a quality team, young core, DJ Augustin, veteran point guard. They got Vucevic. He is the poor man's Jokic. So like the Eastern Conference is like the shit conference, like the little brother, and the West has obviously got all the stars. It's fucking phenomenal. Even though I understand that the East won it last year, but let's be honest, which one? We all know deep down. So the Magic are like the poor man's Nuggets. Vucevic is the poor man's Jokic. And I like them. I like Orlando. I said in the preview pod I like them to win the division. Plus money, just because Jimmy Butler came over there doesn't mean I'm automatically giving anything to the Heat. And I like them on their over for the win total. They had like 40.5, 41.5. 500. Like, come on. This team is good, and the East is shit. All right? Let's see. Scrolling down. Look, I don't know. People don't like this team for some reason. And I think that they played well last year. And the moves they made in the offseason, even though one of those guys isn't playing this year, the other moves, they're still upgrades. So I don't know why people are down on the Nets. They got almost the same team as last year, a little bit more depth, and a better point guard. Kyrie Irving. I understand. Yeah, I get it. Durant's not there. I get it. But still, the Minnesota Timberwolves are coming to town. Minnesota Timberwolves are fucking soft as shit. Karl Anthony Towns is going to have to deal with Josh Allen. And what else have the Timberwolves got? Nothing. Wiggins is trash. It's garbage. Covington, he's all right. Whatever. But listen, I'm not scared of them. Brooklyn, they're laying 4. It opened at 5, went down to 4. Doesn't even really have a good numerical reason for it. The tickets were split 55-45. So I don't know why it dropped. But you know what? I'll take that drop. I don't care. And, yeah, give me the Nets -4. I got, all the confidence in the world in them. And I think they're going to be amped. Like they've all played under this coach for a year. Everybody was super impressed with how he brought everybody together, and now it's a slightly better team. They got better talent. So as long as Kyrie Irving fucking buys in and doesn't become a head case, Joe Harris is hitting threes. Yeah, Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, they got a good team. So I'm taking them -4 opening night. Let's fucking do it. Last up, look, I believe in this team. I feel like they're underrated every year, and I get it. The Nuggets, quality team. Nobody is doubting that. I've heard people pick them to have the best record in the NBA. I could absolutely see that. If you told me that, I would not be surprised. But I don't think the Trailblazers get any respect. I don't. Like the preseason numbers for the division, like plus 500, they finished one game out last year. And the team, again, largely unchanged. Largely unchanged. You still got the two dynamic guards back there in the front court. Now you got Hassan Whiteside in the back, and that's good. He's a guy who's not going to demand a bunch of, ball minutes. He's just going to get the ball. He's going to protect the rim. He's going to get rebounds. He's going to kick it out to Dame. That's it. You got Rodney Hood. You got Zach Collins as a quality big man also. They got depth. They got depth also, and I think that they're poised. I think they're poised to compete. And the plus 500 that I got them to win the division, I think those odds are phenomenal. They could very well lose out to either the Jazz or the Nuggets, but I'll say that that's a good bet any day of the week. And you know what else is a good bet? I'll take them -1.5. Opening night in Portland against the Nuggets, one of their biggest rivals in the division. Yeah, they're going to show up for this. They're going to want to show that they belong in that division and that they compete, and that it is disrespectful at how low their win total numbers were and at how few people are talking about them. And that's all I got for tonight. That's the whole slate of games for Wednesday, October 23rd. Right now, it's October 22nd. It's late. Toronto just tied it up. There's 2 minutes left. I got them -6.5. Not looking great, but that's okay. I am Mike. I'm the Sports Dope. This has been a daily NBA podcast. First one. I'll shoot these out every once in a while. Whenever I see like a nice big chunk of games that I want to, get a little action on. So I don't know. Hit me up. Twitter @thatsportsdope. Instagram, same name. If you watch it on YouTube and you want it on iTunes, go to mindsandmike.com/thesportsdope, and you can find the iTunes link or YouTube link or whichever one you were watching, vice versa, this, that, or the other. That's it. Peace out. Thanks for listening. Later. Bye. There you are.